This is the FitnessFest podcast, highlighting health and fitness professionals across the globe and giving you the tools for growth. Let's start the show. Hello, listeners, and welcome to another episode of the FitnessFest podcast. My name is Tyler Valencia, and we got a great guest with us today, somebody that I've known through the past couple of years within the health and fitness industry. And again, someone that is doing something that she's maybe started off as a trainer, and then she went into the health coaching profession. So today we have Casey Tom. Casey, thank you for coming on the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing so great, Tyler. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So, Casey, I knew you through the training capacity, but I knew that you had other things going on. What's your story in fitness? Can you give us a kind of background on how you started and kind of, the background on Casey Tom?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much, Tyler. So I've been a strength and conditioning coach for the past 12 years, and that was really my input into the fitness industry was strength and conditioning back in college, getting my degree in exercise science from the University of Kansas. And I knew that there was something more. So I went into immediately fitness education, educating trainers that were just getting their certified personal trainer certificate from National Academy of Sports Medicine, and then ACE, and then also the NSCA, really helping them to understand the different facets of the fitness industry. Because as you know, as a trainer, once you become a trainer, you pass your test, you're like, okay, now where do I go? So to be able to really give a beautiful picture to all the trainers of these are the different areas that you can go into with your expertise was something that I loved in that education. However, as I continued to educate trainers, and then also train clients myself, I knew there was a huge miss, especially for me, and that was on the nutrition side. So myself being a soccer player, and then also moving into and doing a ton of different fitness competitions, whether it was the triathlon or whether it was bikini competitions, to really try to understand and be able to relate to my clients, going through all those different fitness journeys, the biggest miss is the nutrition side. And the true health side that allows people to have the unparalleled performance that they're looking for. So for me, it wasn't until about 8 years ago that I actually started to really dive into nutrition and going to the Kresser Institute to get my FDN and get my nutrition certifications through the Precision Nutrition, and then through Nutritional Coaching Institute, and then through Institute of Integrative Nutrition. So I've literally done, you name it, like the top of the top and the best of the best of nutrition and health certifications and practitioner licensing, so that I could truly understand how to really help humans from the inside out and truly educate them on that. And so when I started doing that, that's when I really shifted my business to where now, for the past 4 years, I've just been solely nutrition. I do some training here and there and performance training, but I solely really focus on the nutrition, the habits and the behaviors behind that nutrition, and the mindset piece. Because let's face it, Tyler, you could be given the absolute best personal training program. But if you don't have your health in alignment with that, your stress under wraps, your mindset, your mood, your behaviors, then the food that you're putting in your mouth, that nutrition is the key component to be able to perform. So that performance program that you're getting from your trainer is not going to do anything for you unless you can really work the inside of your body first. And so that's where it brings me to where I am today, doing my all nutrition coaching, which I do completely online now, work with clients all over the world, and then speaking at different fitness conferences and nutrition and wellness conferences around the US to truly help elevate the awareness that, hey, true health doesn't just start in the gym. It starts with your habits and behaviors, with your nutrition.
100% agree with so many of the items that you said right there. I think that this is where that whole saying of you can't out-train a bad diet. I can speak firsthand that I have tried to do it, and especially with the competitions that I do on a monthly basis. It's not until I really focus in on what type of fuel I'm putting into my body that I see the output that is something that I'm happy with, or even that I get to a point where I feel like my output on the field and my performance is really something that is elite. And so really coming back to what you said about the mindset of your clients. I think that's such an important piece that often we miss as personal trainers. We get to a point where we think, I have this hour with it. I'm just going to kick their butt and, they're going to go home and they'll lose weight. And that's going to be all of it. But really, after they leave you, they are on their own. They often revert to a lot of the habits. Some people might think that, oh, I did this killer session with Casey or Tyler for an hour. Now I'm going to go home and I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to have a pint of ice cream, or I'm going to, sit on the couch and I'm going to watch Game of Thrones and I'm going to eat this whole thing of popcorn and chips. And so working with their mindset and all that kind of, talking about nutrition, all that kind of stuff really goes into the overall goal of health and fitness. So Casey, you mentioned a couple items about your educational background in exercise science, like at the University of Kansas, and then all the certifications and licensure that you went through. Can you give us a little bit of background on those kind of items? I think that's something really important for the listeners to know about, but even why you went with certain ones, because I'm sure that there is a plethora of certifications and options out there. Can you give the listeners an idea about those?
Oh, absolutely. So when it comes to education, especially, you really need to do your research first and foremost, because like you said, Tyler, there are literally, just complete honesty, over 10,000 different fitness and nutrition certifications that you can get on the internet, ranging anywhere from $19 to get a certification in literally 2 hours to the best of the best with the Kresser Institute and going through FDN school, getting all up to spending $10,000. And so for people, they're like, oh my gosh, where do I go? How do I know what's a good one? And first and foremost, you want to make sure that it is absolutely accredited, hands down. You really need to make sure that the schooling that you want to get outside of getting your degree from a college institute or a university, when you're looking for your certifications, you need to make sure that they're actually accredited by the governing body of fitness and then nutrition as well. So you need to make sure that they're accredited, number one. And number two, you need to look at the education component. Where does the education come from? Who is the education being provided by? Who are the educators? Because for all you know, if you can't read who's actually writing the education, it could just literally be copied and pasted from Wikipedia. And there are certs out there that are copy and paste from just Google that someone's created, put it online and said, hey, get your personal training certification.
Yep.
So understanding where it's coming from is first and foremost. And for me, when I chose my path in nutrition, I really, really, really wanted to, more than anything, just truly understand and truly have the ability to be able to know nutrition and health and mindset from the inside out. So I was blessed to have a ton of different mentors that I could reach out to. And that's really huge, you guys, is to really create community with other experts in the industry. And that's what I did, is to understand, okay, these are who I look up to. Where did they get their education from? And so for me, I knew, though, that the Kresser Institute, just from podcasts, was very, very well known and a very astute place to go to understand gut health, to understand hormone health, which is what I wanted to do. So to go through the Kresser Institute and get my accreditation through them for functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, that was huge. So I absolutely loved that. But then I wanted to be able to understand even more of the coaching aspect and understand more of like behavior and habit training. And that's why I then chose the Precision Nutrition and then Nutritional Coaching Institute. When it comes to understanding the actual art of coaching, Nutritional Coaching Institute, hands down, is the absolute best in understanding how to apply all the science that you know to then be able to really deliver that to your clients. That's the kicker, is to be able to actually coach your clients to understanding them. And that's why Nutritional Coaching Institute, to me, is the absolute best in really teaching you how to become a coach. And then when it comes to understanding the knowledge, going through functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, going through Kresser Institute, going through Institute of Integrative Nutrition, you get so much science and so much education. But what can you do with that if you don't actually know how to apply it and coach a client? So that's why then I chose that route. So again, the best way to know is to really get clear on what it is you want to learn. Really, really get clear to all you trainers. Understand, what do I want to know? Whether it's anything movement, whether it's nutrition, whether it's mindset, whatever it is that you want to do to own your craft, you then need to honestly seek out guidance and really ask the experts that you love what their education route was, because then that's a really easy gateway to then go and complete that furthering education that you desire to do.
Great stuff right there. Really great stuff, and good key points for trainers that are maybe currently looking at a new certification or a continuing education class or a workshop. Great stuff right there. And I kind of want to go a couple steps back right now. I think in your talking about how you got to health coaching in your current business, I'm sure there was a point in time where you either had to take a risk or you had to do something that was maybe outside of your comfort zone. Can you talk to us about the time around when you started your business and even the mindset that you were going through for that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So this happened about 10 years ago when I started my first business. So like I said, I was first in fitness education for up and coming personal trainers. So I was working with a company called Professional Fitness Institute, and I was the lead instructor for putting together an entire week's worth of education to be able to exude and be able to show the personal trainers. So I was working 60 plus hours a week and the stress levels were high. I wasn't recovering. And for me to be telling fitness professionals and showing them what the industry looks like, but then for me to not be leading by example and to be exhausted all the time and truly not recovering, not happy. I love the education side, but having to work for somebody else to do that, that was truly mentally exhausting for me. So it literally got to a point for me, Tyler, that I hit rock bottom with just my exhaustion. And I was like, okay, what's more important for me to take this leap right now and to be able to actually do what I want to do, or to just stay miserable and comfortable? And that's what a lot of people do. They rather just stay miserable and comfortable because they let fear get in the way of their ability to actually do what they're truly meant to do. So I knew that there was going to be some discomfort in starting my own business because I hadn't done it before. I knew that I was going to be discomfort. I was 22 at the time. I was like, what am I going to do? Okay. And I knew that I was going to be uncomfortable, but I knew that it was worth the uncomfortability rather than continuing to feel like crap all the time. And I knew that I had to reach out for mentorship. Yeah. I can tell you all right now, if you try to go at this game of life or try to own a business, start a business by yourself, it's going to be a really difficult path and it's going to be a super hard uphill battle. But if you enroll others in your vision and you enroll others in what it is that you desire to do, and you seek community and you seek guidance and you seek those that are willing to help you, that's what's going to allow you to be even more successful. So I can honestly say I had a really great community that I sought out, that I was talking about with my vision, talking about this is what I want to do with my company. I want to educate, but I also want to train. And this is how I want to do it. And so when I enrolled those people, Tyler, that's when the magic came alive. But I can tell you all right now, I don't know if I would be where I'm at today if I tried to go at the game of entrepreneurship or the game of owning my own business by myself. So that's where the discomfort was for me at first was, okay, I'm going to lose money, but you have to spend money to make money. I had to invest in order to start my own business. And it was worth it. 100%, 100% it was worth it. I mean, I drove a car with no AC for a couple months, and it was just living in Vegas at the time. Now, let me tell you, that's pretty hot. But I knew that the discomfort was going to be worth it for the long-term success of being able to be a business owner. And so then slowly built my business over the years, and it's transformed and it's grown and it's gotten to me where I'm at today. And so I wouldn't trade the struggle at all for the growth, because with struggle and adversity comes massive growth. And that's for anything in life. And so bring on the struggle and bring on the growth forever.
And I think you touched on combining two of the things that you've kind of said so far, talking about the struggle, the mental struggle, but then the education that you attained throughout all this, through this journey. It kind of set you up for this. You had opened up yourself to more knowledge, more education, more training, more information from mentors that got you to this point where you were willing to do it because you saw, okay, this sacrifice, this will get me to a point where I'm going to be happy mentally. And that goes along with so many different, you can apply those things that I just mentioned to different areas of your personal training business, the business end of it, how you're marketing it, all these kinds of things that go into the overall package of being a fitness professional or health and fitness professional. So interesting stuff right there. I think a question that I want to ask right now, because you've already mentioned having a mentor and how that helped you out with being able to maybe take a leap of faith or being able to, take a risk, what probably seemed at the time. But if you were entering the industry right now and you were like, I really enjoy health and fitness. I enjoy strength performance. I enjoy athletic performance. What is something that you wish you knew?
Something that I wish that I knew 12 years ago, entering the fitness industry now, is that there are no limits. You don't have to just stick to one niche. And that's as told as you can only do personal training one-on-one. You can only do group training. So if I were fresh moving into the fitness industry right now, I would look to try every facet to see where it is you shine. Do some group training, do some one-on-one coaching, do some online coaching, do some nutrition or do some fitness education in your local community. I would hands down put yourself out there and get into messy action, period. At first I was afraid. I'll say I had a big ego coming out of school, being a soccer player, being a strength conditioning mentor for the number one collegiate basketball team in the nation, Kansas Jayhawks. The last thing I wanted to do was show that I was a beginner. So I held myself back a lot. And I can tell you right now, I missed out on a lot of opportunity because I refuse to take messy action. I refuse to want to fail or choose to fail. And that's what every single successful person does. Is in order to be successful, you have to fail and you have to fall on your face a couple times. But I didn't want to do that. And it took me getting super uncomfortable. And it took actually a couple of my colleagues calling me out to get uncomfortable. So the advice I can give you all listening right now is put your ego in your back pocket, get uncomfortable, and don't be afraid to mess up. Go try everything that sets your heart on fire and your soul on fire. Do the fitness coaching, do the group training, do the one-on-one coaching, because you're never going to know unless you try. But you have to make mistakes in order to become better and to perfect your craft. So the biggest thing I can say right now, Tyler, that I wish I knew was just put your ego in your back pocket.
I like that a lot. And, a couple of the things that you mentioned, there are items that I've written about, and even the last month, one of those was a blog post that I actually did for FitnessFest when I was talking about how to really get the most out of fitness conferences. And one of those was to go outside your bubble, be willing to not just go to the workshops that you usually go to. Maybe try something outside of your realm. Open up your mind to maybe it's Tai Chi, maybe it's gut health, or maybe it's an area that you've never even heard of. But these are items that really help open up your eyes, and maybe even at the end of the day is a piece of your training, your programming for your clients that you thought never possible, or even another career path that you could really explore. And, a second thing that I wanted to touch on was, being open as a personal trainer to the different options. One that I was just writing about last night before I went to bed. I was cleaning up a blog post, and one of those was being willing to teach group exercise as a personal trainer. And just from a business aspect, if you're doing this inside of a gym, not only are you opening up your audience, you're meeting I can't even tell you how many times more clients or potential clients or gym members, but you are opening yourself up to consistent income and the ability to showcase your skill set. And I know many trainers might be like, but I don't know how to cue or choreograph or do group cueing. But really, there's so many different formats out there that it makes it an option for anybody. Just being willing to be in front of people, public speak. These are great tools that will apply across so many different areas of your life. So these are all items that, you don't see them right off the bat when you're going through struggles or when you're going through, your business, but then you take a second, you think about them, and then you're like, wow, I can apply this to another area of my business, or I can, that's how I grew right there. I'm gonna try a similar idea right there to help me go even further.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you can't be afraid to be vulnerable, and that's the biggest thing in the industry. Especially with social media these days, Tyler. Everybody's afraid to mess up. They want to be that next Insta
Yep.
influencer. They want to not show imperfection, but that's how you become relatable, and how people trust you is actually showing like, hey, I'm not perfect, and hey, I mess
Yep.
up.
And having seen, and I follow you on social media, of course, seeing that we're friends. You touch on right there, the vulnerability of, showing those things, that you're a real person, that you're just not this, person that puts on, a nice workout outfit and, goes to a gym and it has really clear video. What can you share kind of about, your marketing approach and what kind of steps you took to, okay, this is how I want to make myself appear on social media?
Oh my gosh. So when it comes to the social media aspect, I've learned a lot over the years. 100% learned so much, right? But when it comes to literally like everything that I've done, it's truly just being vulnerable and adding as much value as I can. So I really think about I think of this ideal client that I love to work with. Like, who's my ideal person? And when I'm on social media and I'm posting every day, I literally think as though like I am speaking to them. That's it. I literally feel and think, what is it that they need? What are their pain points? What problem can I solve for them? So every day when I'm getting on social media, it's not about me. And that's what you have to understand. If you want to use social media for marketing, it's not about what you feel like posting, like that really like saucy workout, or you really post that really pretty smoothie. Yeah, that's cool and all, and it looks nice, but are you really solving the problem, or are you really adding to the impact of your
Mm-hmm.
client? Seriously, are you really adding to that impact? So that's what you have to think about. If you really are using social media for marketing, then it's not about you anymore. It's about your ideal client and about adding value to attract them and have them learn to know, like, and trust you. But if you want to just post workout videos and have people see who you are and what you do on a daily basis, go for it. Like, post a picture of your Chipotle bowl or, whatever you want to. But if you really want to attract clients and build a business from social media, your social media platforms no longer become about
Mm-hmm.
you. It's about your client. And that was honestly a mistake that I had made for a long time. So at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is you really thinking about, what does my ideal client need? What value can I add? So if you're a personal trainer, obviously watching this or listening to this, you need to be posting, okay, what's the biggest pain point in my client? They want to learn like how to have more flexibility. Post some like flexibility videos, like show them how to move better, or whatever it is that your clients are coming to you for. Add that value on social
Yeah.
media.
And I think that's such a good viewpoint on marketing your business, specifically if you're a personal trainer, health coach, wellness coach, strength coach, thinking about your ideal client. And that's the way that you're going to utilize social media. And somebody else had mentioned this to me too, as that, a veteran in the industry, he was mentioning how he was giving advice to younger trainers about, what you're currently doing. It looks cool. You got a great body. It's, I guess it's cool that you take, you're shirtless in your video, but is the clientele that you're attracting with those types of videos? Is that the consistent clientele that you want, that you're going to really grow your foundation of your training business? Or is it going to be, showing exercises of, that are clients, normal clients, people that are looking for help, that are looking to find a trainer in the area, that these are exercises that they can see themselves doing. I think that's the big key, right? The exercise that they can see themselves. And that's the impact that social media has had on the industry, is that now it's almost gotten to a point where everybody's just trying to one up, or that they're trying to just post the most ridiculous workout out there. But at that same time, there are so many people, or the majority, and I would even say the overwhelming majority, cannot do those things. They cannot do one arm push-ups hanging upside down and the crazy stuff while holding, a med ball, things like that seem almost impossible, or in Cirque du Soleil, these are the things that the normal clientele cannot even do. So your aspect, or your marketing and how you think about the client, or even an ideal client, that is something that is great advice for trainers. And when they're having maybe trouble with utilizing social media, or even getting to that step of, okay, what is my post going to be about? Because I'll admit, some of your posts, there's different theories on the length of them, and you tend to do the longer description posts. But at the same time, this is something that somebody that's maybe been scrolling Instagram, and they just haven't found somebody or that they can connect with, but they come across your post, they read the full thing, and they're like, wow, that is something that I feel like Casey's speaking to me. I feel like that she understands the struggles that I'm going through, and that's somebody that you want to work with right there.
Oh, absolutely 100%. And it's just, at the end of the day, it's just really understanding inside yourself, like, what is it that you're using social media for? And then whatever you decide you want to use it for, like, go for it. Like, if you want to, like, show off, like you said, do the one-arm push-ups, the one-arm hangs, like, pull up. I mean, do it, but understand, like, you're probably not going to be talking to your ideal clients doing those things. So unless that is like Cirque du Soleil or who knows what. But at the end of the day, just making that decision and that distinctive, like, how do I want to use my social media if I want to use it for business? And then going about that in a super, super impactful way, that's going to shine eons above and beyond for clients.
Yep. And taking this a step further, how have you seen maybe social media affecting the industry, or even kind of where the industry is going with health coaching, nutrition coaching? Sorry about that. Nutrition coaching in general.
Oh my Lord. So the industry, more than any, I feel like, just from a personal, professional standpoint with social media, it is, to the just generic consumer, I believe that it's absolutely confusing people more than it ever has before, just because of, like, the easy ability for people to just go out there and market themselves as a coach because they've been through transformation, and they can create really great content, but at the end of the day, not really serve the client. So I feel right now it's the most confusing time for people, but also can be the most rewarding. It's like a double-edged sword right now, honestly, Tyler, is that people can actually, honestly, truly see, what do I do? Like, that's the question is, oh my gosh, like, all these people are marketing themselves. Everybody is marketing themselves as a coach or an expert, and they maybe have just gone through one transformation. So it's becoming more and more and more vital that you do your homework, especially for where the industry is going. It's becoming saturated with truly coaches that aren't coaches. And so for, like, the consumer out there, the number one thing that I always tell people and that I preach about is, don't just hire coaches based off their Instagram. Do some research, get on a call with them, talk to their past clients, talk to clients they're working with right now. Because at the end of the day, if they're an actual, truly legit coach, they're not going to have any problem with you talking to clients from the past or reading. And it's more than just reading testimonies, right? Because come on now, you and I could just make up a ton of testimonies and put them on our Instagrams, right? But actually having those conversations. So where that fitness industry is now, it's super saturated. And it's becoming more and more crucial for consumers to do their homework to make sure that they're actually getting the product and the service that they're paying for, so that they're not getting screwed on the other end.
Yeah. And I think that that's even an evolution of the consumer base, that consumers are becoming smarter too. This is that aspect of social media that consumers will research somebody, they'll go look them up, they'll see, oh, is that somebody that I want to work with? Is that somebody that, is that education that they have, is that legit? I want to say that consumers are willing to take that extra step. Just maybe it's because I do that. My wife does it. We will research before we make a purchase. And I think that some consumers are willing to take those steps, but it's such good advice for those looking at either certifications or even those looking to work with somebody. Is this person that I'm going to invest my time, my money? Are they worth it? Are they worth my time? Are they worth that money? Because there's so many, and I I'm trying to recall how many you said. I think you said there's thousands and thousands on Google
Oh gosh, yeah.
of nutrition coaches that range in price, and I'm sure it's the same with personal training, strength training. There's so many people out there that want to claim a title, but yet they haven't attained it. So the industry is it's ever evolving. And I can even say from my short time, I've been in the industry a little over 10 years. And when I started off, there's so many different certifications that weren't even made available, that weren't even out there. And yet they are getting better, and they're only going to get better with time.
Yeah. 100%. And that's we're in a really, it's almost like interesting space now, Tyler, because we are in a space where there is so much incredible education available to us. But then it's a very easy space for anybody to just go on and say, I want to make some money. I'm going to call myself a coach and do this. Mm-hmm. So we're in a space where you can have like the absolute best health experience or an absolutely crappy health experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Casey, can you give us some information about maybe upcoming speaking opportunities and even information about, where our listeners can find you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. So speaking opportunities for the rest of this year is I'm going to be just doing some local events here in Denver, Colorado. So I have some different nutrition workshops. I'm going to be doing an event at the end of the month of August, which is, oh my gosh, I should know this date right now, but I'm going to pull it up for you guys. But I have all my speaking engagements are local for the rest of this year. So I'm going to be here in Denver doing a nutrition workshop, which I can make sure you guys all have the link for, that I'm going to be doing on August 23rd here in Denver, just all things nutrition. And I'll be doing that once a month here in Denver for the rest of the year. I have a different location where I do just a 2-hour debunk all nutrition myth workshop that I do locally. And then I'll be back on the FitnessFest speaking route in 2020. We'll be at conferences next year with IDEA and then with FitnessFest as of right now.
Very nice. Very nice. And I just realized that we've gone this whole podcast without even talking about your business. Can you give people information about iCAN Nutrition Coaching?
Oh my gosh, yes. So with my company, iCAN Nutrition Coaching, so I specialize in gut health, hormone, and weight loss nutrition coaching. So with that being said, I work specifically with those. It's very, very niche down. I really work with those that are truly looking to change their habits, their behaviors, and their mindset around their nutrition and truly fix what it is that's not working within them when it comes to, like I said, gut health, hormone health, and fat loss. So at the end of the day, I work with clients all over the world and fixing those root issues of the gut health, hormones, and mindset. And that's all done through your habits, your behaviors, and also learning to understand your movement, your stress, your sleep, and then your overarching, like I said, mindset. So that's the top pillar of what the coaching looks like for me. And all that's done online. But then I also have some courses that if people aren't fully ready to dive into the deep coaching, because clients work with me for no less than 3 months. And most clients are with me for 6 months to a year, because let's face it, what the damage you've done on your body is not going to be done or dealt with within a 3-month period. It usually takes 6 months to a year. But some people just aren't really ready, Tyler. They haven't hit that pain where they're fully ready. So I have some really great courses that can help anybody get started with their nutrition journey to understanding where their current habits and behaviors are at right now, and really open their eyes as to, wow, these are the shifts that I really should look at making. And then those are some really great intro courses that they can then get into the full nutrition coaching.
And, with explaining, iCAN Nutrition Coaching, I'm hoping the listeners kind of see how you took all those different, wants and desires of education and applied them to your business. You so many times throughout this podcast, you've talked about the mental aspect and how that applies to overall health. So it just wasn't one certification. It just wasn't one course you took. It was a variety of them. And even, taking that and then looking even at, how you wanted to create a business out of that. There's so many different layers that there's not just one thing that's going to get you there. It's a variety of education and experiences, which I think listeners need to, wrap their minds around, that it's an ever evolving process, and you just always got to be open to learning and being able to grow yourself. And that's where things like the FitnessFest conference come in hand. And, Casey, what seminars did you do this past year?
Oh gosh, this past year I did FitnessFest, which was in Arizona so far in April. And then I also did I did 2 different online seminars that I did for a Nutritional Coaching Institute. And then I also did another one that was local here, which is like Denver Fitness Festivals. So those are the 2 ones. I took usually my speaking engagements are much higher, but being a new mom and having a 10-month-old, I lightened up the tour dates. Normally I'm speaking at next year, which I will be back on not just the Fitness Fest route, but then also SCW Manias, as I speak for them as well, and they're in 10 different cities, but I didn't do any of those speakings this year. So kind of took some time at home with the baby, but next year again, I'll be back with SCW and also Fitness Fest and Idea. But as of this year, you could find me on, I did a ton of different podcasts, which I can also give you guys links to listen to. I've recorded or been on over 20 different podcasts so far this year. Just on all nutrition, gut health. And then again, I traveled to Fitness Fest and I traveled locally to some different one-day fitness events here and locally in Denver.
Wow. Good stuff. And can you give the listeners your username handles for social media and then also the website?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to find my website, it's iCANnutritioncoaching.com. And to find me on social media, it's just Casey Tom. To find me on Instagram and on Facebook. And that's where most people find me. But then again, if you want to go check out the website, iCANnutritioncoaching.com.
Great stuff. Really great stuff today. And what I'm really starting to see with the guests that we're having on the podcast is one, the openness to education, but also, the willingness to make a jump, make a sacrifice whenever that opportunity arises. And your story, you definitely see them. You definitely see how you sought out more education. You're willing to be open to it. And, just the application in there is where so many people, they'll learn throughout the years that it's the application. How do I apply this information with my clients, with my business, or whatever that might be? So Casey, thank you so much for coming on the Fitness Fest podcast, sharing your information, sharing your story, and really giving good stuff for people out there looking for a different career path within the health and fitness industry. They might start off as a personal trainer, a group exercise instructor, or a wellness coach, but there's so many different options out there. So really thank you, Casey.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Tyler. This has been such a blast, such a pleasure. And I'm just so grateful for you. So thank you for having me.
No problemo. Listeners, thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to catch our next podcast, subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.